Hello, everyone. Welcome to another IT Career Talk with Professionals. And today we have a Cloud DevOps Engineer. But of course, before we begin, please don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and notification bell. So, my guest today is Mr. Rafael Marco. Good day, Rap.
Hi, Rafi. Thanks for having me here, and hello to our viewers also.
Right. And thank you again for agreeing to appear on this video or podcast. So, Rap, no? I like your name, by the way. What is a cloud DevOps engineer? Why do we put cloud in it, no, and not just DevOps engineer? As a lot of titles are just DevOps engineer. Now, why the importance of cloud as well?
Yeah, so I'm currently working as a cloud DevOps engineer. We are mainly focused on AWS. That's why we have the cloud in front of the title. So part of my responsibility is to build, maintain, and improve the infrastructure of our customers. And I mostly write automation and integration scripts for provisioning the infrastructure, developing the CI/CD pipelines, also monitoring the application performance, putting out fires. So yung halimbawa, nagda-down yung mga servers or nagka-crash yung mga applications. And sometimes I do cost analysis na rin for the services that our customers are using. So we build these automation scripts so that we can easily deploy, provision, and track the resources that we are using. And we are, all in all, we are supporting the needs for the software development life cycle. So uh, that's what I do.
Right, right. No? Um, for your role, you mentioned there you're already building these pipeline scripts.
Mhm.
Um, so would you say that it's not an active application coding? It's more towards infrastructure scripting at the moment now. And if so, what are the scripts or what languages or what technologies do you specific technologies do you use?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, it is mostly on where the applications will live on the cloud. So we use CloudFormation for provisioning the infrastructure. So it's a YAML file or a JSON file where you can put in your AWS resources, like whether if you want to have an EC2 instance or uh, an ECS cluster, you have to define it in the YAML or JSON template for the cloud formation.
Right, right. No. So basically these you're basically using a specific cloud formation because this is in AWS now. Is it at the moment, are you 100% AWS, or if it's a different cloud, do you also have some set of tools, or just to clarify no?
Right now, I'm on 100% AWS, but before, I was using different cloud services din kasi. So, I go with Terraform
Mhm.
to just orchestrate them all.
Right, right. Siguro just to ask the next question now. Given that you are on AWS, how did you get your skills on AWS? Did you take some certification, studying? How did that develop over time?
I think first is when I got the most exposure on AWS is on my first job. So I'm at a startup company, and our application is hosted on AWS. And yeah, since we are a startup, I get to try different things then, not just not just developing the application, but also I also get to try then maintaining the infra, or like being the first before I do like first level of support or first line of defense
Mhm.
in case anything goes down on our application. So that's where I got started on AWS. And then I also got a certification. Also, actually, ano lang siya, this last month lang. So it's, um, sorry, I forgot what it's called, but uh, it's, sorry, can I just look it up for
Sure,
a
sure,
quick?
sure. But basically, the experience helped you and then
Yeah.
solidify with a certification.
Yeah. So I got the Solutions Architect Associate certification. So yeah.
Right, right. Um, Before you actually got into the IT field, no? Since a lot of our audiences are also young, uh,
Mhm.
can you tell us how did you always see yourself in the IT field? Like nung high school ka pa ba? Like gusto mo talaga nasa IT field, IT profession? What basically what pushed you into the IT career?
I think it's a chance na rin. Kasi before, when I was on high school, I have three choices or options, or like
Mm.
the courses that I want to take on college. So it was journalism, uh, electronics and communications engineer, and then IT. Pero unfortunately, di kasi ako nakapasa dun sa entrance exam ng isang university. So, ayun, IT yung bagsak ko.
Right. Right, right. And how did you find, the course so far? When you were studying, no? Was it at par to what you expected? Did you come to love it eventually? How was the experience of studying IT?
It's a mixed emotions na rin. Partly happy and partly like, am I doing the right thing? Kailangan ko ba mag-shift or not? Or like, tuloy ko ba to?
Right, right.
Kikita ba ako dito ng malaki?
And how did you overcome those, no, questions? Like, because madaming shift into IT, right? But you mentioned a while ago, potentially napaisip ka rin to shift out of IT, no? What were your thoughts there, and why ultimately you decided to stay?
Kasi I've been seeing a lot of mga, kasi I've been attending conferences when I was on college. So I'm seeing yung how are those yung mga nag-i-speak, kung like parang gusto ko kung ano sila before, or kung ano sila that time, parang I also want to do that then. So parang naging inspiration ko sila.
Right. And now na nandito ka, baka ikaw yung maging inspiration din sa ating future takers, no? Maybe you can inspire them also, and give them a push to remain in IT.
Mhm.
Right. So after you graduated, normally there's also that first question of landing a job, and sometimes the first job is it's the stepping stone, or there's a lot of factors to consider. How did you pick your first job?
I picked my first job. I saw it on a Facebook group. Uh, Someone posted that they are hiring. They're looking for a PHP developer. So I sent in my resume, my portfolio, and then I got into the interview and got the job.
Right. So ano siya, one application, and then or you feel dead naman, no? Just to again for our audience, na para hindi naman sila may idea naman sila.
Yeah, actually, it took me 5 job applications and 2 interviews before landing my first job.
Right, right. Right. Siguro our next question here is, now that from your first job, and then yun nga, slowly you were exposed to AWS, or the cloud. What particular skill set, or parang when did you transition? Parang hey, lipat na ako from application development to DevOps. Parang may gumising ka ba ng isang araw, tapos parang gusto ko mag-DevOps na lang, ganun, or direct sa mag-DevOps focus ako, hindi sa application. May parang ganun ba for you?
Yeah, kinda like that kasi I'm not sure yet kung ito ba, if I still want to do this kasi since hindi ako sure, I tend to learn anything about IT. So
Mm.
saan ako napapadpad, ano-ano yung mga inaaral ko, and then DevOps engineering got my interest na rin. Also, siguro parang nagsawa na rin ako before since I am doing application development since I was high school.
Mm.
Kaya ayun.
So dito
Parang I
parang
wanted to try something new.
something new, right, right, no. And ako personally, just to add to this, no, sa AWS, sobrang daming new I think hindi
Yeah.
ka magsasawa dito. Ang hirap mag-keep up ng services nila, no?
Yeah, parang one day gigising ka may bago na naman silang in-announce na service and you have to learn that again.
Right, right. Now that we are also in a remote setting, no, how has DevOps or how have you adapted to remote work?
Mm, honestly, I enjoy remote working din eh kasi away from the traffic and pollution siya. And also it takes away the stress na makukuha mo while commuting. So you can have more time to be stressed about work na lang. So yeah, but I think working in office once in a while should be good din kasi parang hybrid setup kumbaga.
Mm-mm.
Kasi minsan lalo na if you're not used to uh, fully working remote katulad ko, parang you'll seek an in-person connection with your workmates din kasi like lunch out, picking up a place where you'd eat your lunch and yung mga pre-food sa pantry tuwing may birthday. And then yeah.
Right, right. Um, Madami akong nakakausap na DevOps din. Nasasabi nila sometimes, no, sometimes and not hindi to lahat, no. Parang true ba na minsan kailangan talaga daming overtime kasi especially sa DevOps kasi nagde-deploy during off hours. Parang ganun, yung majority ng time nyo kailangan hindi regular time kasi yun nga, deployment. And deployment has to happen off hours. Is that
Yeah.
true?
It's is somehow true pero that only happens kapag kasi hindi pa automated yung mga processes. But as a DevOps engineer kasi part of the responsibility is to automate things so that the application developers can do the deployment on their own and then if everything crashes or like may problem sa deployment parang kaya na rin parang they can roll back on their own, they can go back to a healthy state yung application nila.
Right, right. No? And again, for our audience, maybe you can give the stages of, the build in that sense and deployment. No? Maybe you can
Mhm.
give a short intro to DevOps. Now, what is DevOps?
DevOps, it's like combining, yeah, as the term itself, Dev and Ops, combining development and operations. Parang you're standing in the middle of those things. And then, honestly, I don't know what is the specific definition for a DevOps engineer. Kasi parang when you are a DevOps, you work on putting the application into life. Parang you host it, you help host the application. So it's kind of like that then.
Right. Siguro, to clarify, no, just for, what would you say the major differentiation for it versus, let's say, a sysad?
Mm, I think for me, I I think the definition of a sysad is it's like more of a traditional definition of traditional terms for DevOps. So since when you are sysad, you are managing more on-premise servers. Uh, you are configuring parang mga bare metals na servers. Unlike the DevOps engineer, you are managing cloud service servers.
Right, right. Since yun nga sa cloud, specifically AWS, ang bilis ng pace of innovation, no? How do you keep up? Yun ito yung matan. How do you keep yourself updated, with best practices, with the services? Yun eh. Hmm.
Yeah, I read a lot of different articles about tech. So I am following this para siyang curator for different articles. It's called Hackery News. If you're also familiar with it. So ano siya, user submitted content about like for example, someone announces a new company or a new service, pinopost nila doon. So yeah, I just read.
Right. Great, great. So siguro just a couple more questions left, no? Or one or two questions left for you. Um, Siguro let's start off with the question on uh, is is cloud DevOps? Can anyone become a cloud DevOps engineer? Or is there, uh, you know, parang, yeah, I guess that's the question. Can anyone become a cloud DevOps engineer? Kailangan ba nasa IT? Programmer ka? Or pwede bang sysad ka before? Or may pre-requirements pa siya?
Actually, anyone can be a cloud DevOps engineer. I have a few friends na ano sila, before they were electronics engineer, and then they shifted on to working as a DevOps engineer. And then the skills naman, about the skills, you can learn it naman online. There's a lot of tutorials, documentations, also the guides from the AWS website itself is very helpful. And then you can also take certifications to be sure na ayun, alam mo, and then to gain the confidence ng mga employers or potential employers na alam mo itong stuff na to.
Right, right. And for our final question, to wrap up, what's your advice to our audience? To for those who want to be a cloud DevOps engineer, or basically follow you in a profession. The question ultimately is how to be you po. Yun yung Gen Z question.
Yeah. So, ano lang, be hungry for knowledge and experience kasi and do not be afraid to try new things. So it doesn't matter whether you started early or started late, as long as you're willing to learn, to try new things, ayun, mag-work out siya. Also start small and work yourself up. It's going to be difficult at first, but eventually you'll figure it out then.
Right, right. No. So, audience, I hope you've listened in and picked up a couple of items from Rap, no? On how to become a cloud DevOps engineer and what the life and responsibilities of a cloud DevOps engineer. If there's anything that you wanna share or comment, feel free to leave it below also, or message me as an author. Um, Ultimately, and I'll pass it on to Rap Marco. No? Rap, do you have any shout outs or invites to our audience?
If you have questions na lang, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I think Rafi will put a description naman below.
Right. So there you go, everyone. Thank you very much and good day.
Thank you.
And of course, if you like our content, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell.